Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and it's not just TV, it's HBO. Where would we be in this world today without the marvel of television? You go back to the 1950s and you hear about shows like The Honeymooners and I Love Lucy, and you just go all the way down the timeline. Gilligan's Island, The Brady Bunch, Charlie's Angels, The A-Team, Knight Rider, Seinfeld, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and you just keep going on and on and on until today's big shows like Grey's Anatomy or Desperate Housewives. But in the past 10-15 years, there was one specific channel that really revolutionized the way that we look at the modern-day sitcom or drama, and that, of course, is HBO. And this was the biggest years for HBO because we were introduced to two new shows in the past season, and we also had to say goodbye to one, especially for me, because it really was one of my favorite shows for the past couple of years. The first show is Boardwalk Empire. It stars one of my favorite actors, Steve Buscemi, and I've loved him ever since I've seen him in roles like in Fargo, or the Adam Sandler movies, or The Big Lebowski. I mean, come on, Donnie, you're out of your element. But here he takes on the role of Nucky Thompson, the fabled Atlantic City treasurer in the early 1920s, around the time that America decided to go into the rules of Prohibition. Now, I love this show so much because this is a side of American history that we just do not read much about in textbooks. The years of the mobsters. So it's just so cool to see like these young guys who are later going to be the big names in mob history, like Al Capone and Lansky and Bugsy. It's just so cool to see these guys developing into what they're going to become. And of course, what I love so much about this show, pretty much all HBO shows, is the acting and the character development and how it's just so in your face. It's really cool to see that Atlantic City was just the big place to do the quote-unquote sinful acts before Vegas really hit it big. So if you're into the mob movies and all that stuff, go watch Boardwalk Empire. It just started its second season. It's so awesome. I think you'll love it. Another show that really just caught my eye this year was Game of Thrones, based on the famous novels. And what I was really surprised about, I didn't really like it at first because here's a fantasy story. I thought that I was going to see, like, mythical creatures and stuff like that, but it was always mentioned somewhere, like things like dire wolves and white walkers and dragons. As the show goes on, again with HBO, the character development just grabs you. And of course, I was so interested in seeing it because I love Sean Bean from Lord of the Rings and National Treasure, and Mark Adey from Still Standing and The Full Monty. And of course, you can't get away from your favorite little person next to Warwick Davis, and that is Peter Dinklage. He plays what they call the Imp, and he just brings so much more to that show. He makes you laugh. He makes your jaw drop with the things that he says. So you don't get the mythical creatures, but you get a lot of intense violence, and you get a lot of prostitution in the weirdest ways possible. And it just, again, you just can't stop watching. I went through the whole first season, and in the end, when I see a gorgeous blonde woman bare naked with dragons covering her body, I'm like, hello, give me season 2 and give it to me now. Game of Thrones. Go see this show. I don't know when these two shows are coming out on DVD, but when they do, you definitely gotta give them a shot. Moving on to the third HBO show, we have to say goodbye to Kevin Connolly, Adrian Grenier, Debbie Mazur, Rex Lee, Jeremy Piven, and the rest of the cast of Entourage. They finally decided to turn the lights down after 8 seasons, and it was really sad to see them go. A lot of people really haven't enjoyed Entourage as much as they did, like, in the first 3-4 seasons. And I have to say, I still enjoyed watching it from season 4 and on. The only thing that I can say that was really bad about this final season was the fact that it was just way too short. but it catches you on a cliffhanger in the series finale, and I think, to me, that show's series finale goes up there with some of my favorite series finales. It catches you off guard at the very, very end after the credits, so don't turn it off once the credits roll, and it's just paving the way for the 2013 movie release, provided the apocalypse decides to pass us by. So that's it, everybody. Comment, like, and subscribe. So the question that I want to leave with you guys today is, I caught the new show Pan Am with Christina Ricci. Have any of you seen it? I think it's good, and I've only seen 2 episodes. But if you have, what's your take? And what do you think is a show that I should be watching this year? I'm the Lawn Gnome, and remember, actions speak louder than words.